Every January, as snow blankets the Swiss Alps, a fleet of private jets begin touching down on a tiny airstrip in the middle of nowhere. Presidents, billionaires, tech founders, celebrities, and the heads of the world's biggest banks all arrive within hours of each other stepping out into the freezing air with a smile that tells you they know something the rest of the world doesn't. Cameras flash, reporters shout their names. But what happens after they walk past those doors away from microphones and behind layers of something only a very small circle ever truly sees? The World Economic Forum calls it a meeting for improving the state of the world. But critics call it the most powerful club on earth. And here's the real question. When the people who control trillions of dollars gather in one place, are they simply talking, or are they quietly shaping the future of the global economy? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the real power of Davos and what actually happens when the world's elite disappear into the mountains. The World Economic Forum, or WEF, wasn't always this giant. It started in 1971 as a small conference created by an economist named Klaus Schwab. His ideas sounded simple. Bring business leaders together to cooperate and solve global problems. But over the decades, something much bigger evolved. Davos became the place where CEOs of tech giants sit across from presidents, where central bankers share coffee with hedge fund billionaires, where activists and academics attempt to influence the direction of entire industries. On paper, it's a forum for ideas panels, speeches, solutions. In reality, it is a rare moment when the people who usually speak through press releases or policies suddenly find themselves face to face in private rooms, off-the-record lounges, and exclusive nighttime gatherings. And that's why this place matters. Whether you admire it, fear it, or just find it fascinating, Davos has turned into a crossroads where global priorities are debated, deals are born, and narratives for the coming year are quietly shaped. In this video, we're going to untangle the myth from the reality and uncover how much influence Davos really has over the world, economy, and the people who run it. 1. What Davos claims to be the World Economic Forum presents itself as a neutral space where leaders from business, government, and academia come together to improve the state of the world. Officially, Davos is about cooperation, finding solutions for climate change, inequality, global security, and emerging technologies. The panels look polished, with experts discussing the future of work, sustainability, and economic stability. It's designed to feel transparent and optimistic, almost like a global classroom for powerful people. But this polished surface raises an important question. Is Davos truly a place for ideas, or is that just the public-facing version of something much more influential? 2. What actually happens behind the scenes while cameras focus on the main stage? The real activity unfolds in rooms the public never sees. CEOs schedule back-to-back private meetings. Government officials negotiate policy directions, and investors quietly build partnerships worth billions. Many conversations never appear on the official agenda. Attendees call it the Olympics of networking, where a handshake over dinner can lead to a multinational merger. Deals aren't always finalized here, but they often begin here. And because everything is off the record, there's no transcript, no accountability, only a growing network of people who walk out of Davos with new influence and new alliances. 3. Who actually attends Davos? Davos isn't just a conference. It's an exclusive guest list. Presidents, prime ministers, central bank directors, and leaders of institutions like the IMF and World Bank are Then come the CEOs, tech giants, energy companies, major banks, pharmaceutical firms, and rising startups. Alongside them are academics, global activists, celebrities, and influencers who bring media attention and cultural credibility. But every attendee is not equal. A world leader may give a speech, but the CEO of a trillion-dollar company may quietly shape an industry. Understanding Davos means understanding that the power structure, T about title sit, S about financial and strategic leverage. Alongside them are academics, global activists, celebrities, and influencers who bring media attention and cultural credibility. But every attendee is not equal. A world leader may give a speech, but the CEO of a trillion-dollar company may quietly shape an industry. Understanding Davos means understanding that the power structure isn't about title sit s, about financial and strategic leverage. 4. The real power structure at Davos. If you watched only the panels, you'd think public officials hold the most influence. In reality, the most powerful people are often the ones speaking the least. Financial elites, hedge fund managers, tech founders, institutional investors wield immense sway. Because they control capital, a president may announce a vision, but a private investor can shift billions across borders. With a single decision, central bankers influence global markets simply by hinting at future interest rate changes. And when these groups talk to each other in Davos, their combined decisions can ripple across currencies, supply chains, and employment levels worldwide. That's real power. A president may announce a vision, but a private investor can shift billions across borders with a single decision. Central bankers influence global markets simply by hinting at future interest rate changes. And when these groups talk to each other in Davos, their combined decisions can ripple across currencies, supply chains, and employment levels worldwide. That's real power. A president may announce a vision, but a private investor can shift billions across borders with a single decision. Central bankers influence global markets simply by hinting at future interest rate changes. And when these groups talk to each other in Davos, their combined decisions can ripple across currencies, supply chains, and employment levels worldwide. That's real power. 5. How Davos shapes global narratives. One of the most underestimated powers of Davos is its ability to shape how the world talks about major issues. When thousands of influential people repeat the same message, like the importance of AI ethics, global cooperation, or green investment, that message spreads to journalists, policymakers, and industry leaders everywhere. Davos doesn't enforce laws, it sets narratives, and narratives influence budgets, research, political promises, and public expectations. When Davos decides a topic is urgent, the world often listens. This agenda-setting power may be soft, but it shapes conversations that eventually turn into real-world decisions affecting millions of people. 6. Policy influence and economic impact. Even without formal authority, Davos discussions often inspire policy changes. A minister may return home advocating for renewable energy after meeting investors eager to fund it. A CEO might shift company strategy after hearing global trends. Governments may adjust regulations to attract partnerships initiated at Davos. The impact isn't always immediate, but the momentum starts. Davos acts like an accelerator. Ideas that might take years to gain traction suddenly become priorities. And because many attendees control enormous capital or political resources, decisions made here can influence global markets, international investments, and even diplomatic relationships. 7. Myths, criticisms, and misconceptions. Davos has always attracted conspiracy theories, from claims of secret world governments to accusations of undemocratic decisions. The truth is less dramatic, but more subtle. Davos doesn't issue orders. It creates environments where influential people align interests. Critics say it's elitist, inaccessible, and hypocritical, preaching sustainability while attendees arrive in private jets. Supporters argue it's better to have world leaders talking than not talking at all. The real concern is transparency. When decisions affecting billions happen in private, trust becomes fragile. Whether Davos is a force for good or bad depends largely on how openly its influence is acknowledged. 8. Is Davos losing influence or gaining more? As global tensions rise and new powers emerge, Davos faces a changing landscape. Countries like China, India, and those in BRICS are building their own influential networks. Some argue that Davos is losing relevance as the world becomes more multipolar. Yet others claim it's becoming more critical because crises like pandemics, wars, and technological disruption demand coordination. Tech CEOs often draw more attention now than presidents, signaling a shift in where real power lies. Whether Davos is rising or fading, one thing remains constant. As long as the world's most influential people gather there, the world will keep watching. As the snow begins to melt and the private jets lift off from the Alps, the world's elite leave Davos, carrying more than souvenir by geste, carry new alliances, new agendas, and new ideas that can influence the year ahead. Davos isn't a shadow government, and it doesn't secretly control the world economy, but it does bring together the people who hold immense power over markets, technology, and policy. And when those people share a room, the conversations they have can quietly shape the direction of the world. The real power of Davos isn't in the speeches, it's in the connections. And understanding those connections helps us understand the forces that will shape our future.